link, so give people a minute to get over here.
Okay. And then the Disc Golf Pro Tour standings, MPO and FPO, as of after Mid-America.
Okay. Sounds good. Excuse me.
There are 2 people who are finding it.
Took me back to the old link.
Yeah, I'm just going to have to delete the old one.
There we go. Got it.
So you're live for sure?
Yeah, it's
Oh, welcome, YouTubers. We had a little bit technical difficulty setting things up, but we are good to go now. So apologies for the having to create a new link for this, but we'll let a few of you kind of trickle into the broadcast, and then we'll get started recording our episode for Disc Golf Answerman 325. Let's see. It's beautiful weather out here in Emporia, Kansas.
Enjoy it.
78 degrees, I think, was the high at one time.
Because it's going to change.
It's about to get
like
hot.
I only saw it going to be like, I mean, I know that upper 80s is hot, but
where did you look?
weather.com
I checked in it like
for the
this
month.
weekend is supposed to be in the 90s, and then it's supposed to be basically 90s all next week.
Oh, really? Weather.com looked like it was like 89. But so anyway, so today's a gorgeous day tonight. It'll be a good night to get outside and
look at that.
play a little pickleball. Hopefully you guys can get, hopefully the weather's nice in your area and you are able to get out and enjoy some sunshine and fresh air. How's everybody doing on YouTube? Give us a temperature check on our YouTube audience.
People are starting to filter in here. Not too many comments. I did see a $5 super chat from Chris Carpenter on the last stream. So
nice.
We won't have it on this one, but thanks, Chris. Appreciate that.
Appreciate that.
Wesley
mucho.
Does Disc Golf says, I love lamp. So you're welcome.
I've met a few lamps I don't particularly like, but
Isn't the game usually on Tuesdays? Yes.
Typically.
Ryan, this may shatter your world, but it is Tuesday.
It's like that when Jim made Dwight think it was Friday.
Yes.
And then it was Thursday.
hey, did you see that?
I never go out with my paintball team on a Wednesday.
On the by the way, we're just letting people filter in, and then we'll get started with the show. So we're just kind of talking back and forth. But I saw something on Office Superfan Facebook that there's a spinoff show. Is that just silly rumors, or
I hadn't seen that. I think I left
I thought
that
I
group.
heard something about that, but it's not like the entire cast. It's a spinoff of like, who was it? I don't even remember who it was now, but yeah, I did see
Who would be a
something.
strong enough character to?
There's only really a couple.
Who would you pick if you had to pick one character?
Creed?
Who would you?
I would watch a show about Creed.
Who would you want to follow more of their life? Creed?
I mean, the obvious ones are Jim and Dwight.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think those are the ones that you could really make a show about.
I think they've moved on too
Right.
to bigger and better things.
Yeah, so
So
unlikely
Jim at the sports what was it called? Athlete.
Athlete. Eventually athlete.
And then like that's so much better.
Yeah.
And then Dwight would. What did he end up doing? Just running the beet farm.
Dude.
No, he took over the
Oh, that's right. He became the manager. That's right. Yeah, but it'd have to be a whole different
Right.
setting.
It couldn't be Dunder Mifflin.
Who else would it be?
I mean, and it's just because I love Craig, but Daryl. I would watch anything with him in it, just because I like the
Daryl would be a
actor.
good
I think
spin-off.
he's
he
great.
is funny. So Andrew says, pretty sure the actor who plays Stanley wants to make a show about him being an uncle or something, and then somebody else said Stanley is doing it. Like Stanley's a good character on the show, but
I don't know if he is a lead.
not as the character that he played as Stanley.
Yeah.
I'm sure the actor could probably do something.
Oh, for sure.
But Stanley, not so much. Ace Run said Robert California and Nelly spinoff. Literally nobody would watch
Robert
that.
California.
Nelly is Nelly is by far the worst character on The Office. Not even a close second. Gabe is miles better than Nelly on The Office. Miles better, and he's the worst.
I thought Gabe was funny.
Gabe had his moments.
Robert California. I thought he had. Some
Robert
funny
California is awful.
He is terrible.
Funny.
No, I don't like him.
Nelly is the worst, though. There was not a worse character than Nelly.
I never really liked Charles Minor either. But
He sucked.
Which one was Charles Meyer? He was the
He was the guy. He was the new manager who came in from. He had worked in steel
it
before.
was right around the time when Michael Scott Paper Company started.
Yep.
What was
he
his,
quit.
What's the actor's
Idris
name?
Elba.
Yeah,
That's what I was
Yep,
thinking.
Yep.
Yeah, he does a good job in. I watched that show.
Luther.
Luther, yeah,
I watched that.
That was a good crime
I'm
show.
telling you, Creed. We need his own spinoff show.
Hi,
It could just be called Creed. I mean,
I think everyone would be okay.
everybody would watch it.
All right, I think we're good to go to start the show. What do you say, guys?
Yeah, let's get it.
Hey, everybody, welcome to this episode of the Disc Golf Answer Man. I am Bobby Cool, Daddy Slick Breeze, and I have with me Robert McCall and Eric McCabe. We are all three on board, ready to answer your disc golf questions.
Hello.
Hi there.
How are you doing, Eric?
Great.
Great. How's your week been? How's your weekend and week so far of disc golf been?
The week's been great. Not too bad. The weekend was fantastic. Saturday, I helped out with Denise and Jackie at the Trilogy Challenge.
Oh, that's right.
For the Emporia Ladies Open fundraiser. They ended up having, I believe, 72
Whoa!
people come out
That's
and
really
play.
good.
And they raised a little over $1,000 for the event,
Dang.
which is fantastic. Why aren't you guys running Trilogy
Exactly.
Challenges if you're not? This is such a no-brainer on fundraising. It's so easy. I helped them, but I didn't do anything but sit around, and then I went and played
Nice.
the round. So I did play. It was fun. That was Saturday. Sunday was a great day as well. I actually went fishing down in El Dorado and caught a PB walleye. It was almost 2 feet long, 4 pounds.
Personal best.
Personal best, if you didn't know what that meant.
Thank you.
It's not like a species of walleye.
I got you.
PB walleye.
I thought they were doing the naming convention we talked about earlier.
Right.
Yeah, right. add some letters and it'll be fine.
Exactly. But no, it was great. It was awesome. He was like, honestly, an inch or two shy of me wanting to put it on my wall.
Wow.
Really?
Yes.
That's crazy.
That good, huh?
That good.
But you ended up eating
But
it?
instead you ate it.
Instead, we filleted him up, and last night, Denise and I enjoyed bacon-wrapped walleye on the barbecue
Ooh,
grill.
I
So
bet you that's good.
it was so good.
That sounds excellent.
It was a fantastic weekend.
Speaking of grills, mine will be here tomorrow.
What did you order?
What'd you get?
I got a what's it called? It's got there's a specific name for the style. I looked at a pellet grill and decided against that. It is a
Peloton.
Kamado.
Can I see it?
A tomato?
Oh.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah, that doesn't help.
It's just the
What is it? I know
It's like it's very similar to the egg.
Okay.
Oh, like the
And
big
so
green
it's
egg.
like
Big
an
green egg.
enclosure. And so I did some research, and I was going to get just the cart. Now, the fuel is charcoal, so it's still going to have that
course.
charcoal taste to it, but it's very much an enclosed
Okay, yeah. I've seen
grill.
those. I've seen those.
So I'm anxious and excited to try out this new style of
When did you say it
cooking.
comes?
It's supposed to arrive tomorrow.
nice.
Ordered it from Lowe's. So
Nice.
yeah, so excited about that.
Better come get your charcoal thing then.
I know I need to go get I got one little box in the garage that has
I've never used one of those, but it seems like magic.
What's that?
It's just way faster to get the charcoal
the
going.
chimney, the
Yeah,
little
yeah.
Oh, the little metal.
Yes.
like a container where puts everything. So anyway, that's a fantastic weekend. Thank you
it
for
was.
sharing, Eric.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and Jackie Morrison and Denise Cameron. You could not ask for more friendlier, helpful, and go-getters as far as running a ladies' event. You can ask for any better than that. So really excited for the Trilogy Challenge that it went over well, and of course the Emporia Ladies Open that plays.
It's in September. And if you would like to sponsor the event, reach out to Jackie or Denise. They will be looking for whole sponsors for that event. So if you're listening and want to help and donate, hit one of those two up, please.
You can look up the event on
Nice.
Disc Golf Scene, Emporia Ladies Open, or look for it on Facebook.
Yep.
Robert, how was your weekend?
A pretty solid weekend. We grilled some chicken fajitas from HEB.
Nice.
If you're unfamiliar with
HEB.
HEB, yeah, from the Promised Land,
Mr. Butt.
Yes, he has a great grocery store.
That's his name.
Yeah,
Sure,
that's his actual name, the person who founded the store.
Yeah.
But HEB was the grocery store that we were at in Austin, that we lived closest to, that we got a whole bunch of stuff from.
HEB is fantastic.
Yes, the chicken fajitas that they have from there are just like pre-seasoned. Usually we do them in the crock pot. This time we did them on the Rectech. Yo.
Good stuff.
Oh, unbelievable. And I got a new car last week. That was
Nice.
That was
that's
really
right.
fun. I got I traded in my 2013 Honda Accord for this RAV4 hybrid that we have out here. and it gets
Only
better.
out here?
It's only out here.
Okay.
You can only find
only
them
find them in Kansas.
in Emporia specifically. But I had to go to Kansas City.
It's a sharp
to get
little
this one.
SUV.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so it gets better gas mileage than my car and gives us more room for the baby child. So here we are.
You're doing it.
Yeah. I'm morphing into a father.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how I feel about it just
Next
yet.
step is a minivan.
Like in my brain, I know like things are going to change, but it hasn't really set in like just how much we're talking about.
Oh, it'll set in.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. So it's coming
Nice.
soon.
Cool. Well, I moved into my new house, so I'm excited about that. Got everything. Had some helpful people come over and help me move some of my stuff. Got it all unpacked by Saturday about 10:30. I believe I was completely unpacked, so super excited about that.
Nice.
All right, guys, what do you say we get going with the disc golf questions?
Yeah, let's.
Guys, as always, you can go to discgolfanswerman.com, submit your disc golf questions, and we will try to get them on the air. We have about 32 sitting in the queue, so we appreciate your patience as we work through these. This first one is from Levi. This is on tournament course design. This one is mainly for EMAC, but would
Mainly.
love to hear all of your
Whatever.
opinions on this. So don't
Oh,
completely,
you're gonna get it.
Don't completely check out, Robert.
Oh, you'll hear about it.
He says, I'm up here in Minnesota and was lucky enough to attend 2 days of the Preserve Championship, which was awesome to watch. During the event, there was a lot of talk about the extremely low scores, and there should have been some man-made OB added for the event. Are you kidding me? So when there's not OB, they say man-made. When there's man-made, then they say don't do that. Sorry, that was me. That was my
Rant?
my
Your
editorial on
soapbox?
that. Yeah, my editorial on his question.
Okay.
However, I heard that Kale specifically wanted the course to have mostly natural OB and to not have it all roped up for the event, which I appreciate in many ways. After the event, Simon had posted a Twitter. Oh, now I know what I'm talking about. A Twitter rant about how he loved the course and loved that it didn't have a ton of man-made OB. He said that at the DD Open, all of the OB brought too much luck into play, and he thought it was refreshing to even the playing field and have good shots rewarded. As the course designer for the DD Open
Hello.
and the best crew in disc golf media, hello. Oh, he's talking about Jumbas? Or us? What do you guys think about that? So, what do you think, Eric McCabe?
I saw Simon's post about the DD Open. I don't think that he was necessarily slamming the DD Open by any means. But my take on it, looking from an outsider looking in, if I'm in Simon's shoes, you're darn tootin'.
Of course
I'm
I
going to
don't
want
want OB.
no OB anywhere, so
Right.
I can just throw the disc 600 feet, and have that slight advantage over the field. But here's the thing. The no man-made OB, if you want to call it man-made OB, however, at the country club, majority of the OBs are cart paths or greens or occasional fairways. There's nothing that's like out of the crazy ordinary, I would say. That's OB, but that wouldn't work. I guess the method that Kale uses at the Preserve wouldn't work at the Emporia Country Club.
Unless you just said over a cart path isn't out of bounds.
Yeah, exactly. Let's just go play. Here's your hole. Let's just go play. Let's just have people bomb the course, throw as far as they can. So your upper, I personally do believe that the OB definitely equalizes the field. To some degree. You don't have to throw high-speed drivers as hard as you can. Of course, you're going to get big skips out there. But look at some of these other players, like like a Page comes to mind, who can just throw a mid or a putter down the fairway and get probably the same score as the majority of the field. I think, I can't speak from experience of being at the Preserve because I wasn't there. But from what I saw, that course seemed fantastic.
Yeah, it looks unbelievable.
I would have probably put maybe a couple more OBs on the course, maybe some of the tall grass. But even if it wasn't, even if you just used the tall grass as, like, say, a bunker, I 100% think that bunker on 18 should have been out of bounds.
Yeah, I'm with
that
you
would
on
have
that.
turned that hole into a par 5 as opposed to a, 4.5? Because, how many people eagled that hole that last day,
Yeah, a lot.
To me, an eagle in disc golf is you shouldn't have more than half the field eagle in the hole, I guess.
Yeah.
Then it becomes more of a that's probably a par 4.
Sure.
But no, I think what Kale's doing up there is fantastic, and like I said, the terrain, everything works better for him up there than it would here. Us not having any OB or just the cart paths being OB or the water and whatnot. But it's different parts of the world. You're gonna have to do different things.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. I think I understand, especially why Simon would want a course like that. And that would be the same for somebody like,
Double G.
Yeah,
or
Drew.
Eagle or Drew.
The huge bombers. And look, distance should, because you have more distance, that should be an advantage to you. I don't think that we should necessarily punish someone for throwing too far. However, I'm more in the camp that I think there should be at least some sort of guiding of where you need to throw the disc other than just the basket. Not on every single hole, but especially on par 4s and 5s when it's just wide open. It's just who can throw the farthest.
I would love to see...
For me, that's not really disc golf,
True.
It should be an advantage, but it shouldn't be the whole game.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at on it.
Yeah. I would love to see Simon come to the DD Open or Glassbone, whatever you want to say, play the country club, throwing majority mid-ranges.
And just see
how he shoots.
Right.
Because he could throw a mid-range arguably further than I could probably throw like a Raider or a Trespass. I almost guarantee
at least close to.
Yeah. And it's so much more easier to control. You get less skips. I mean, yeah. What are your thoughts, Bobby? Do you have any on the topic?
I don't know how much my opinion carries weight just because I'm not a pro that's played these courses. I've played the course, obviously.
Sure, but that doesn't matter.
Well, no.
To me, everybody's opinion matters.
I'm kind of giving context.
To a degree.
You're right, I'm giving context for this. So I understand the weight of my opinion isn't as heavy as like yours or Simon's or something like that. Now I do get to hear, because I'm out doing photography and stuff, I hear and I see when someone has a shot. I mean, I won't name the names, but someone had thrown it and it looked like a pretty fair shot, and he went OB, and he just got totally why is this OB? The fair shot, nah, like that. And so I see the pros, and I have to, I will literally think, maybe he's right. But then as I look and I see other people throw it, I think, well, they made adjustments and they made corrections or made changes based on watching what other people do to make sure they're within bounds. So I think it almost comes down to just your preference.
Sure.
Some people love that course. They think it's amazing. They think it's very challenging. They like that challenge. Where some people are just going to gripe about it because they can't seem to work the course. They can't work the course like they need to work the course.
Yeah.
Do you think it was lucky then? Do you think Simon thinks it was lucky when he won the Glassbone Open then?
Right.
Because he did win the GBO.
Yeah, different country club layout, but still lots of OB.
Lots of OB.
And lots of wins.
Right.
Yeah.
So
it's a game of inches. Let's be honest.
It is.
Yeah.
All right, next one comes from Tom, playing the discs lie. He says, I was playing around a bit ago in the basket, and the basket is up in a log pyramid. He sent a picture, and obviously our audio people or YouTubers won't see the picture, but you'll see it's basically just a pyramid of logs.
Got it, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Logs.
So imagine
very descriptive and accurate.
Right, yes. He says, and my disc ended up underneath some of the logs to make it hard to get under to be behind my disc.
Yeah.
Right? Does the lie exist above where the disc is? I know that rule 802.05 says it can exist above the disc, but just wanted to double check.
I mean, that's how I read it. That people call this the rule of verticality. That doesn't actually exist. It's something that people
have dubbed it, but there's no.
Yeah.
It literally doesn't officially say anything about verticality.
Yeah. So just to reference 802.05, it says, the lie is the place on the playing surface upon which the player takes a stance in order to throw. The playing surface is a surface, generally the ground, which is capable of supporting the player and from which a stance can be reasonably taken. A playing surface may exist above or below another playing surface. So I think this would be one of those situations where it's impossible to throw from your lie.
That's the key word there, I believe.
Yeah.
If it's impossible to establish a lie.
Exactly. Then you could go up on top of it, or you could. I've seen people be right up against a tree where it's literally impossible to take a lie, like literally impossible. So you just take it at the closest point behind, which is right on the tree. I mean, it's still not a great spot to be, but yeah.
Excellent. All right, next one is from Brett. Hey, Dynamic Disc Squad. I'm a new player that has only played a handful of tournaments, all MA3. Since getting my first rating, I've played nearly 50 points above my official rating. At what point do I move up to intermediate or advanced? I haven't won an MA3 tournament yet.
Wait, can you say the first part of that again? I'm sorry.
I've played a handful of tournaments since all MA3. Since getting my first rating, I've played nearly 50 points above my official rating.
Oh, okay. Should you move up?
At what point do I move up to intermediate or advanced? However, he hasn't won any MA3 tournaments, or he hasn't won as an MA3 in any tournaments. I
mean, I think within amateur ranks, you can play within. I think you can and should play within your rating. Mm-hmm. That's why the ratings exist. Now, if you want to challenge yourself, bump up one. Try playing intermediate and see how it goes. Try playing advanced, see how it goes. But if there's a player who is rated 899, in my opinion, and they play in the rec field, great. It is their right to do so. Go for it.
Yep.
You're not going to hear any flack about it from me. But if you want to challenge yourself, I don't think it's a bad idea to try intermediate.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
All right, this is just a reminder that we are holding the 2020 Disc Golf Experience at AT&T Stadium. We're going to be playing disc golf in a football stadium. It is quite an amazing experience. We have done it already there 3 times, and we're going back for a 4th time. Now, the last time we did it was 2017?
Yeah, I think so.
I think it was 2017. So it's been quite a few years. But we thought it'd be really cool to take it back to where we started everything. Right now, we have about 412 people signed up. So a lot of people are going to be there having a good time. It's tee times. Every 7 minutes, we'll have people go out there and throw. Now, one of the cool things that we've added to this is we have different levels. We have a family experience where your family can just come in and watch things. A player pack experience where you obviously get the player pack, but you don't play. You can watch. And then we've got the player experience where you get the player pack and you get to play. And then we have the VIP player experience where this year it looks like you get everything, and then at the end of the day, VIPs will be able to attend an exclusive party in the club level of the stadium. VIPs will also have the opportunity to throw a special CTP hole from the club level to the 50-yard line, and we've done that in the past.
That's awesome.
If you've ever looked at a bridge or out onto the landscape and thought, I would love to throw a disc, I would love to throw something here, this is one of those opportunities to throw toward the 50-yard line.
I believe the VIP experience is full.
Oh, is it full?
Currently. But there is plenty of other spots open for coming out and playing at the event
enough.
still.
Okay, sorry. You missed out, guys.
This may be your only opportunity to come into Cowboys or AT&T Stadium this year, too.
Yep.
You never, I mean,
oh yes,
with
That's
everything
true.
going on. So.
Now there has been some concern because of the COVID-19. What if it happens to get canceled? So people are maybe hesitant to sign up and lock that in. If it comes down to where there's any kind of mandate or policies that does not allow us to hold the event, we will refund your money. We're not going to keep that money for you. So if that's something holding you back, don't let that hold you back. Get signed up so you can reserve your spot. And then we'll be out there having a great time.
Yep.
Look it up, discgolfscene.com. Just look up, you can look up 2020 Disc Golf Experience or just look up AT&T Stadium. I actually looked up Stadium and was able to find it was a second hit, so you can look it up there.
On the contrary, Bobby is personally keeping your money if you don't attend. And we cancel the event.
And that's typically what I do.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's how we bought a new house.
Right,
That's right.
And a new grill, apparently.
Right, yeah. I bought the grill from the people that signed up for the Trilogy Challenge.
Oh, nice.
Oh, got canceled.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Thank you for your contribution to the Bobby's General Fund.
All right, next question comes from
The
Chad.
Human Fund.
Yes.
Hey, hello all. What's crack-a-lackin'?
Oh, nice.
I'm currently loving the Maverick and bag 2 right now for dead straight S-curves fairways. Wow, you just jumped right in there. My question is, what are some overstable fairways and super understable fairways that you think would pair nicely with the Maverick as a 3-headed attack?
Ooh, monster.
Of course, yeah. What is that? What is it called in Godzilla? The 3-headed Mothra? No, the 3-headed
Mothra.
Hydra?
I'll look it up. Of course, Westside and L64 suggestions welcome as well. Thanks, and have a fabulous day. So what would you recommend as far as something to complement the Maverick on the overstable side and the understable side?
Well, overstable, you got to go with the Felon.
Duh.
I mean, it's very overstable, but that's definitely the one I would go with. If you're looking for something not quite as overstable as the Felon, then I would say Getaway.
Mm-hmm.
Now, understable, Maverick is leaning on that edge of kind of understable already, but it is kind of more of a straight flying fairway driver. Trying to think. I know a River is a touch less than a Maverick, but pretty close to the same. Like I would almost say that you don't want to bag both.
Yeah, I'm with you on
Maverick
that.
and a River. As far as a more understable one go, nothing's really coming to mind unless you do
I'd probably go Underworld.
Underworld, or I was thinking even Stag is another one that's similar.
Yeah.
But either one of those I think would work.
Sure. Those are the ones I
Or
was going to say.
Maul. I think a Maul.
Yeah, Maul would be more understable as well.
An understable one as well. It's got a little bit smaller diameter.
Yeah, if you really like the Maverick, the Explorer is closer to the same speed, and it's going to be more overstable. The Getaway is going to give you a little bit more distance potential, but is also a little bit more overstable.
True.
Than the Explorer. Then on the understable side, yeah, the Underworld or Maul, I think those are both.
Or
great.
you can just get rid of all of them and just bag an EMAC.
You're welcome.
I mean, it does it all.
You are welcome.
All right, did you guys think anybody on YouTube chime in on the name of the three-headed monster?
Somebody said Ghidorah.
That's correct. King Ghidorah.
King.
Ghidorah. King Ghidorah.
Yeah.
King Ghidorah is a fictional monster which first appeared in a 1964 film, Ghidorah, the three-headed monster.
Ghidorah.
And now we know.
Very
the
good
Explorer.
name. So anyway, I just thought that was interesting. Let's see. Like my hot takes, everybody loves them. My interesting facts.
Dude, yeah, somebody really didn't like yours on Facebook. Did you see that?
Last week? I didn't.
No, somebody posted on Facebook, can we make a Bobby specific hot takes channel so that I can unsubscribe from that channel? Dude,
That's fantastic.
Get got.
Oh, I'm starting to find those endearing. I don't know why.
Your last one was all right, though.
I thought your last one was good.
I listened to the show last week, and I thought it was
the animal one was bad.
That was,
but from then on,
that's
I was
by far the worst.
Right,
one
that was
we've
the
had.
first one.
But after that, I think mine are pretty good.
Your last one is all right. Although you did say on the last one that look at most movies, who does people cheer for? That would be the underdog, not the guy who's winning everything. Usually the guy that's winning everything is like the
that's a fair
Shooter
point.
McGavin.
That would have been a fair argument.
Shooter.
Yeah.
And everyone's going for Happy Gilmore. You know what I mean?
That would have been a fair argument.
That was
yeah.
the only thing I thought. But I thought it was good. I thought it was
All
a great
I enjoyed
conversation.
that hot take.
Next one is Sean Cooper, ups and downs, hosts and possible hostesses. Over the summer, my game has been dramatically improving to the point of shooting high 800 rated rounds with solid consistency. But in my last week or so of play, I haven't been able to find the groove I was in. Things feel off, and I'm throwing lots of bad shots and have uncharacteristic blow-up holes. I've added 8 to 10 strokes to my round. So my question is, why they do that? But actually, is this just something normal? Should I just write this off as a bad week, refocus, and forge ahead without looking for something to change? Or could I have changed something without noticing, and I need to get back to the field and break things down? Love the show. Love y'all. Keep on keeping it real. I would say the answer is yes to all of it.
You're welcome.
Yes, you're welcome.
No, I think probably the best thing for you to do is get back into the field and mess with things, but that's only if you're not already being too analytical. Because I think there can be a crippling need to continue to improve every single thing and never just go play disc golf.
Yeah.
I think it's important to work on your form. I think it's important to make it as good as you can. But if you're just never satisfied because all you can think about is the minuscule things that you did wrong, then I'm not sure that you're really going to improve to the level that you want to, right? Disc golf has to be fun in some way, and so playing disc golf usually for most of us is the most fun thing to do. So I would say, yeah, go to the field, make sure that your fundamentals are still there, you're getting the shots to do what you want to, and then when you go out and play casual rounds, try and treat them as competitive rounds, and just see if you're noticing a difference before, and where you notice it. Like if you feel nervous over a certain type of shot, if you have just absolutely lost confidence, then there's only really two ways to fix that. One is to work on your fundamentals so that you know that fundamentally you're sound, and two, it's really just to fake it till you make it. That's the problem with confidence is until it actually happens for you, you have to just fake it and say, like, I can throw this shot, even if you don't believe that you can, until you do it. And then you've done it a bunch of times to where, oh, okay, I feel like I can do this, and I've got a body of work that proves that.
Unless it's a forehand.
In which case, you may never find it, like some of us on the show.
Yeah.
But all that to say, this is a normal thing. Slumps happen for disc golfers.
Plateaus.
Plateaus is probably a good way to put it too, where you feel like you're improving, and then you just can't quite get any better than that. And a lot of times what that takes is a change in something that you're doing, whether it's a mental game change, whether it's something physical. Maybe it's a strategy thing on the way that you attack the course. Yeah, this happens to everybody.
Sure.
I think it's. I mean, a lot of it from based on seeing a bunch of questions that come on here, being at a bunch of clinics and listening to the questions. I think sometimes people, they get super excited, and like you said, it's kind of like an upside down hockey stick where it just you rise, and then you level out as far as. But I think a lot of times what happens then is people get in their minds way too much, and they break things down way too much when they just got to get out there and play and kind of follow what you said, get out there and just work on things and not get in your mind too much.
Yeah. Another thing I was going to add is after these events that you're playing, you can always reflect back on it and say, this was the one thing that I felt I was struggling on, and then work on that next week. That's what I always did when I was traveling is after an event, I would look back at it and say, man, my putting was awful this week, so I'm going to really focus on my putting. Or if it was my approaches, drives, whatever it is, that's something that you can really focus on, dial that in, and when you got more confidence in that, you can kind of move on to another area.
Something that I started doing was, especially like as a post-mortem for a tournament, once I've finished a tournament, I'll go back and say, how many shots reasonably do I think I lost this round?
Yeah.
And say it was 10. All right, I'll say, okay, on hole 1, I lost this on the drive. I didn't throw a very good drive. That's fine. Hole 2, man, I had a clean-up shot, and I threw it 50 feet short. I'm not going to blame that on the putt because maybe you make 50-footers all the time, but most of the time you don't. But you had a clean shot at it for your upshot, right? So don't blame that on your putting, blame that on your upshot.
Yeah, right.
And then go through and actually count how many shots you're losing and in which place, because I think a lot of people would look at a shot like I just described and be like, well, I didn't putt very well today because I didn't make that 50-footer. Well, actually, you didn't throw very good upshots.
Yeah. For putting, I consider it inside even inside 40.
Oh, sure.
Even 35. I mean, as far as that goes, the circle.
Right.
Circle 1. If you're missing putts inside the circle, those are the ones you need to focus on.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, just actually go through and count them and see, so that numbers wise, and then you can kind of use that as a percentage for you when you practice next time.
And it could be depressing.
It will probably be depressing. But let's say half of those shots were putts inside the circle. Well, next time you go practice, spend half of your time putting. Yeah. Say 30% was off the tee. Spend 30% of the time in the field, and then 20% throwing up shots. Something to think about.
I would spend the majority of the time putting, though, because that's honestly, if you ask anybody, it's always putting. Of where they're lacking,
no matter what.
Majority of the time, especially in the amateur divisions.
Sure,
that's typically the one that people struggle with the most.
Yeah. So this isn't specific. This is more in the clouds of thinking or opinion. But we talked about last time on the show, The Last Dance, Michael Jordan. Anyway, I was talking with a buddy of mine about how cool the show was and Michael's mentality, and he was telling me that he had went to a sales. He used to do a lot of sales. And he went to a sales conference, and they had a motivational speaker there, and he said something that really impressed him, or she said, and one of the things she said is that she was I can't where she was at, but it was some sport event, and there was a coach that was like a big time coach and had coached a lot of top professionals in that particular sport. And she asked him, what's the difference maker in top pros? And he said, I can break it down in one thought, and that's how well will you recover? And I thought that was kind of, I know it kind of applies here in the sense that, everybody's going to have slumps. You just got to know that those slumps are going to happen, but how well will you recover? Now, that's not anything specific for you to work on, but it's kind of a mindset to think, no matter what happens in my life, no matter what happens in my game, how do I react to it? How do I recover from it? And to me, that sometimes can make a difference between someone going top and someone staying where they're at.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, next one is from Sammy. And then parentheses, he put Cool Daddy Slick Breeze. So I must have changed my name to Sammy bought Cool Daddy Slick Breeze.
No,
or maybe Sammy's new nickname. It's Cool Daddy Slick Breeze.
That's
got to
cool
find a new one.
I got to find a new one.
This is copyrighted.
Me or Sammy has to find a new one?
You.
Hello, Disc Golf Answer fam. I started playing early this year and recently started throwing forehand shots, right hand, forehand, in the last couple of months.
Nice.
I found that I can generate more distance and it's easier on my shoulder than trying to get similar distance with backhand throws. What forehand discs do you recommend for a novice/rec player? I learned mostly using a Suspect. He loves that disc, by the way.
Nice.
And have recently fell in love with the S word for drives. Sword. I can get about 350 feet with the Sword. As always, you all rock, and I love the show. So what's a good forehand disc for novice or rec players?
Man, there's really not like a forehand disc. It's not like we have a line of forehand discs, or you see people joke online that Melton has a line of lefty discs. It's just a matter of what your arm speed is and what style of forehand you want to throw or learn to throw. Honestly, like I know when I first started trying to learn forehand, I'd always gravitate towards the more overstable stuff because I always thought, hey, I'm getting maybe more snap and I'm throwing it a little flatter, so I'm going to try to get more distance. But come to find out, I throw a trespass on a forehand so much better than I ever threw an enforcer or a defender because I can throw with a little hyzer and get a little flip up. It's no different than learning a backhand. It's just a matter of, one, mechanics, and two, arm speed and angles, honestly. So there's really no right or wrong answer. Now, if the S word is working great for you, throwing it how far? 300?
350.
I'll take that.
Yeah, it's solid.
I would love to have a 350-foot forehand. My goodness.
Yeah, for sure.
Not that I'm saying, to each their own, everyone's different. But yeah, if the Sword is working for you, great. I mean, maybe step up in stability or even something a little less stable if you're trying to get a little bit more turn on it before it fades back. Now, that would probably be like, Trespass is going to be a touch more overstable. And then as far as more understable, I would even try like possibly a Getaway. Something along those lines, like a nice neutral fairway driver, just to get to work on your release.
Yeah.
Majority of the time with forehands, at least with me, the wounded duck comes right out.
Yeah. For
so
sure.
It's more about that smoothness and getting right velocity and all that good stuff.
Yeah, I would say in the fairway driver range, I like Getaway as a suggestion if you like the Sword. You might also try an Escape. Most people think of the Escape mainly as a backhand disc just because it's moderately understable. But man, start it on a little bit of hyzer and it just goes straight for forever, and it's really easy to throw. And then one kind of distance hybrid driver that I would suggest would be the Sergeant. It's just, man, really comfortable in your hand when it comes to forehands. A little bit more overstable than the Sword, but probably almost a similar speed profile. I think you'd like the Sergeant a lot.
They're pretty close.
Yeah.
This past weekend was a big weekend for disc golf, as it was the National Disc Golf Day. It was August 1st, Saturday. And because of that, the PDGA held its virtual disc golf tournament. This is where I'm not sure if you have to register or whatnot, but
I think if you're just playing a PDGA sanctioned event,
then you're part of the virtual.
Yes.
Okay, so it's a pretty big event. Now they have scoring for everything, and there's some stats on it that I thought was pretty cool. They put out on Twitter. There was 50 events in 33 states with 4,362 players and 9,507 rated rounds.
Nice. That's
Pretty
awesome.
cool.
So that's pretty cool. And what's really cool is our very own Chris Smith, or Schmitty, as some people call him. He took 7th place overall.
Nice.
So I thought that was pretty cool.
Nice.
I saw he had a great weekend. He had actually, I think, back-to-back wins.
Oh, nice.
This weekend. I think it was 2 events, but he definitely got some W's this weekend.
Yeah.
Another person that had a big weekend is Ron Converse Jr.
Don't let the junior fool you.
Yeah, he took first place in the Ponca City Open.
Just kidding. I love Ron. Are you kidding me? Dude's a baller.
Okay, that was funny. Hey, listen. That was funny.
He took first place at the Ponca City Open, and he took first place in an MPO. Now, why is that a big deal? Because he is a 2-time Grandmaster World Champion. He is 58 years old. And we believe that this makes him the oldest PDGA member to win an A-tier event in MPO. Danny
of course, these are unfounded facts.
Correct. Now, Danny put...
But it's a good guess.
Danny put out a little bit of a feelers to see if anybody would refute that, and so far we have nobody that has refuted that, so we'll have to see. Ron said that he played well on his home courses, averaging 10.25 on the weekend as he celebrated his... And it was his birthday, too. 58th birthday.
Yeah.
He used his Lucid Raider Enforcer and Oakley Lucid X Felon. So, congrats to you, Ron, and congrats to Chris Smith as well. All right, let's get back to the questions. This is from Dax. Hello, Disc Golf Answer Man. Can you guys please discuss the merits of using mid-ranges that do and don't have a lot of float? I primarily use Speed 5 discs to approach between 150 to 250. And please, keep it real.
When you say float, I assume you mean glide.
No, he's throwing in the water. He's playing a water course.
Okay. In that case, I'm not very experienced in water discs.
Yes, I'm assuming he means
Drift.
glide. I would
Yeah.
assume.
I prefer mid-ranges that have a decent bit of glide, but not at the distances that you're talking about. I like them because I can stretch an EMAC out to, I don't know, closer to a little over 300 feet, 320, 330, somewhere in there. Because it has that extra glide, I just feel like I don't have to throw it that hard to get it to go the distance that I want it to. At the same time, if I was to step up to a 250-foot hole and I had to throw a mid-range, I would want something with a little bit less glide because I'd have less of a chance of overthrowing it. I know that's why some people choose the Gatekeeper over the EMAC or vice versa if they prefer them how I do. But there's merits to both sides of this argument. One with a little less glide that's just kind of a point and shoot, and then one with a little bit more glide that's going to give you some extra distance. So I choose the extra distance route.
Absolutely.
But that's just what I like.
And I can tone it back and throw it at like 60, 70% and have more control over the disc. But if it's 250, I'm 90% of the time reaching for a putter.
Right.
Also. So.
Right. So if 250 is kind of your max for a mid-range, then I would feel comfortable throwing it 250, like throwing
a glidey one.
Yeah, throwing a glidey one for those 250-foot shots. You might consider something with a little less glide, or learning to really throw that 70% shot for something closer to 200 or something.
I meant to ask you, Eric, earlier when we talked about the Trilogy Challenge, but how was, speaking of mids, how was the bounty flying for you?
Pretty good. It kind of started out, this was the second or third time that I threw the disc. Because when we first got him in, I did go and test him here and there. But this was my first, on the course playing, an actual round where I had to have it. Because Hammond Park is a course that on 8 of the 9 holes, I'm throwing an EMAC off the tee probably, maybe 7. So it was a little different in that regard because it is a little bit more understable. But I did love that I could trust it. As soon as I decided, I can trust this disc on a hyzer and know it's going to flip the flat and fly just dead straight. Yeah. That's when I knew that I started to throw the disc a little bit better. It's slow. It's a little bit slower than I'm used to, but it definitely is kind of that angle sensitive mid-range that I can really rip on.
Does it have a lot of glide? I don't know what the glide number is.
It's pretty good. I mean, it's got a nice little dome to it, and it definitely wants to stay in the air a little bit, but it's a lot, like I said, slower than I'm used to.
You were throwing the Lucid one probably.
I was.
Have you messed with the Fusion one at all?
I have not, because I'm a Lucid kind of guy.
Yeah, that's true.
Silent lucidity.
I've also only thrown the Lucid one, so I need to test the Fusion.
Well, maybe if we do a little challenge, we'll have to bust out the
look out.
Fact, I think we are doing a little Disc Golf Answer Man Trilogy Challenge.
Challenge.
It'll be on video for you.
It'll be at Jones Gold.
Yes.
No, it's not. That'll take up the entire day for me.
I'm interested. We got a $5 super chat from Corbin Roth. He says, nice. He says, what is the most overstable run of truths? From what I've thrown, Moonshine seems to be up there. If you're talking about truths, not EMAC truths, then I think Moonshine is probably the correct answer.
Probably fluid, technically.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
But yeah,
they're not.
They're hard to find.
Definitely. If you're talking EMAC truths, then some of the Lucid X Chameleon, Lucid X Glimmer ones are very overstable.
The Lucid X is definitely going to be the Lucid X, or that lava run that I did a few years back.
Those are good too.
Those are definitely that top line as far as stability goes. However, the metallics, oh my gosh, people, I can't stress this enough. I know my name's on it, and I'm going to push that disc regardless, but I swear to you, the metallic EMAC is the best disc I've ever thrown.
Nice.
Well, if you're looking for an overstable EMAC truth, you're in luck, because this Thursday, depending on when you're listening to this, but Thursday, August 6th, yes, will be the release of the Lucid X Chameleon EMAC Truth, which is the signature series. So it's got a cute little chameleon
guy
over the name.
Yeah.
So, and I was taking some pictures of them for Instagram yesterday, and they are so, I don't know the word for it, but they were
Chameleon?
color. They were so chameleon.
It's like I couldn't see where they were. They blended in.
They're so the
really
word that comes to me is like translucent, but I don't think that applies here. I don't know, but
It's like hypercolor.
it's-
Remember
it's a
remember
really
hypercolor
color.
shirts?
Yes.
Remember those?
Where you touch them and it changed
or
color.
you sweat and it's
Or you
like
sweat. All right, let's move on to the questions. This is from Kenny. The subject is, how does Johnny McRae do it? I've been playing for disc golf for 20 plus years. I can throw 300 feet with reasonable circle 1 accuracy and top out at 350 with no accuracy. I flipped on this silver cup to watch with my 10-year-old the other day, and I ran downstairs to grab a beverage. My son calls out to me, "Dad, it looks like Gimli from Lord of the Rings is playing on the card."
oh, that's hilarious.
I get upstairs and see Johnny McRae playing on the featured card. I had never seen him play before. Now, most of the holes are 350.
Wait. He's been playing 20 years and has never seen Johnny McRae play?
I know, that's kind of interesting. Let me see. Now, most of the holes are 350 or less, and he was playing excellent disc golf. I was excited because he is a guy who is built like me, around my age, and was holding his own with Wysocki on this shorter course. I've always accepted that I don't throw super far because I am 5'9" and carry extra weight around my middle. Then they get to hole 15, and McRae throws a perfect Anheuser around 475 feet.
Yeah.
That's just Johnny McRae, man.
That's what he does.
What
Probably
sort
with
of
a giant.
He
too.
said, "What sort of witchcraft is this? I am prepared to sacrifice a chicken before every round, if that is required." I would go with the goat.
Should have got a live
That's
chicken.
where you're going to get the most distance as a goat, not a chicken.
That's true.
I don't know, have you seen Major League?
Yes. Didn't they? What did they
They
do?
brought him the Kentucky Fried Chicken bucket. Halfway through the game, we should have got a live chicken.
So yeah, I mean, John McRae is just one of
Look,
those guys.
Johnny's like what, 50? Is
Sure.
that accurate?
It's
Close.
Close to it.
Yeah.
And he's probably been playing 45 years.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
All right. We don't have the glasses, but I'm going to keep it real.
Okay.
Oh, there they are.
We do have the glasses.
I'll put them on over my current glasses.
Right.
Hold, please.
Make it even realer.
This is as real as it's literally ever going to get. Okay.
Oh wow. I wish I had
Okay. I'm not saying that you claim this. Who is it that asked the
that.
question?
Oh, Kenny.
Okay. I'm not saying that you claim this,
It's
Kenny.
really Kenny Climo.
Yeah. He
Proceed.
knows the answer. Just because you have the same body type as somebody doesn't mean that you will ever have the capability to play as well as them, right?
Or not have the capability.
Yeah. Okay. So here's prime example. Paul Macbeth and I look very similar. Like we're about the same height. I maybe have him by an inch. Build wise, I would say we probably weigh about the same. I don't really know if he could lift more weights than me. I'm not really sure. I will never be as good at disc golf as Paul Macbeth
Or
is.
anything.
Well,
teasing.
wait, hold on.
I'm sorry. I have the wrong glasses.
Wow, hateful. But now I can look to his game to say, oh, look, this is something that I could learn from it. But just because it's just hard to say, like, just because you see someone with your body type succeeding, that now I can succeed also. Johnny McRae has put in years and years of work to get where he is. And he actually came from a martial arts background before. So his body is used to moving in ways that are really committed to following through, hitting the spot. Like that's what he's used to. So I encourage you to take what you can learn from his game and say, like, hey, I want to be able to do that. But just because your body looks like somebody else's doesn't mean that there's not an inherent amount of skill and years of hard work that made them able to do that. Does that make
what
sense?
you're saying, yeah.
I'm certainly not trying to be rude to you, Kenny, because I think we can take inspiration from anybody. But just because someone looks a certain way or you look the same as them doesn't really mean that much in disc golf. There are top disc golfers in lots of different body types.
Yeah. I think he's just trying to. He could just say, "I just kind of relate with John."
He's excited.
Yeah, he's excited.
Yeah.
But I would say, like, a limiting belief he has is that I've always accepted that I don't throw super far because I'm 5'9" and carry extra weight.
See, that's it. Now, what I'm saying is, just because you've seen somebody do that doesn't necessarily mean that you are able to because you have the same body type.
Correct.
That Johnny could probably throw that way if he was 6'2" or
Right.
5'6".
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying, but what I'm saying is that just because you're only 5'9" and carry extra weight doesn't mean that you can never throw far.
Right.
True.
I mean, if anything, like if that was the case, I'd be more encouraged by somebody like Double G. Double G is not he's not a tall guy. I mean, we're probably around the same height.
Mm-hmm.
He may be an inch shorter, but he throws so far, super duper far. So I
mean, look at Emerson Keith.
Yeah, I mean, Emerson's what, 5'7", maybe
On a good day.
Yeah, he's a small guy, but he uses his
mash.
levers super well.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Plus, Johnny's been playing for many
Yes.
years.
Sorry if I went off on you there, Kenny. I'm not saying that I don't think you'll ever be good at disc golf. I think you can definitely be good at disc golf. There's just a lot more factors than body type to consider when learning to throw far.
No, that's exactly what he's saying, Kenny.
It is.
Saying,
That's what he
give up.
told us.
You can send in your opinion at
Kenny, I hope you're watching live so that you can see my face, because this is how this always happens. I try to be helpful, and then these guys jump on whatever.
All right, so if you are paying attention
What
to
do you mean, these guys?
This
guy,
specifically this guy.
I get picked on
That's
just
true.
as much. So,
Yeah, that's true.
If you guys are paying attention to Disc Golf Pro Tour and you're thinking about going to watch one of the events, make sure you check out their Facebook page to see that their face mask COVID-19 policy has been updated. So make sure you are aware of that. They are being a little more strict on as far as when and where you have to wear your face mask. So make sure you check that out. Also, I found on the Disc Golf Pro Tour Facebook page that I thought we could talk about is they released the MPO standings after the Mid-America Open. And our friend Calvin Heimberg is number one.
Calvin Vinny.
He is number one. Eagle is number two, and Paul Macbeth hits the number 3 spot.
Ooh,
and then
washed up.
And then part of the family,
Nah, he's no good anymore, guys.
part of the family, we have Nico number 4 and Emerson
Nice.
Keith as number 5. So
Awesome to see all those guys.
yeah, all those guys up in
performing.
the round out the number 5.
Calvin's just so much fun to watch play.
God.
He is.
I
like
love
he
it because
doesn't care.
He's so nonchalant.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing is, talk to him about it, and he definitely cares.
Oh, yeah.
But watch him play, and he's just like,
Yeah.
out here throwing frisbees.
At the Dynamic Disc
Meh.
Open,
God, he's so good, dude.
I just left the MPO card on the last day, taking photos, and I think they maybe had a hole or two left, or maybe they were done. And then I'd caught up with the women because I was going to take pictures of the top card, and Paige Pierce said something about Calvin winning it, and I was like, I know, I cannot believe he shot up 10
10.
spots, and she said, did he seem excited? I went, it's Calvin.
Yeah.
No, he didn't. You
Of
wouldn't have
course not.
known. So, and of course, everybody laughs because, yeah, he had no expression.
He's so good.
And on the FPO side, we have Paige Pierce's number 1 with Katrina Allen and Missy Gannon in the number 2 and number 3 spot.
Missy's been killing it this
Yes,
year.
Good
she
for
has.
her.
Yes, she has. And then Rebecca Cox is number 5, and Paige Sue is number 6 from the Trilogy
Sweet.
family. So
Very, very cool.
check that stuff out. Of course, you can go to discgolfprotour.com or dgpt.com to keep up with that tour. All right, we got time for a couple more questions. This one's from, this is a hot take that we'll save. This is telling us about the podcast not appearing on Apple Podcasts. Should be out there now. A good woods disc. Hey, I play predominantly forehand, and I'm relatively new to the game. I live in Norway. So many courses are heavy with trees. I have an EMAC, of course, and I can get that to go pretty straight. Do you have any suggestions for straight discs similar to the EMAC, but that will go a bit further?
Ooh.
Preferably a flatter one, though I realize that means less glide.
There's a couple that come to mind.
Sure, go for it.
Would you mind sharing them?
No, well,
No?
that's going to cost you.
Okay.
Longer EMAC. For me personally, what I throw for my longer EMAC right now is the Explorer. I've been throwing that disc for quite a while now. Now, I play in Kansas, so I don't play a lot in the woods. A couple discs that come to mind for great woods golf is the Escape
Yes.
and the Vandal.
Yes.
Both of those are just great point and shoot. You can get some nice hyzer flips out of them, but those two discs, for whatever reason, are just my go-to disc I'll throw in the bag if I know I'm going to play a course or a tournament that's thick of woods. You know, you probably won't see an Escape in my bag during, for instance, like a DD Open style of a tournament. You won't see one in there then, but you absolutely would see one like at Idlewild or Harmony Bends or something like that.
Next one comes from Lance. This is a fuse versus bounty question.
Okay.
I've recently grown to like the more floaty, glidey type mids like the Fuse and the Comet. So from what I have heard about the Bounty, seems interesting. What would you say that is the differences between the Bounty and the Fuse and the Comet?
Yeah. The Bounty is a little bit shallower than the Fuse. In your hand, you feel a difference. It has a bead. But then I would say the biggest difference for me between the Bounty and the Fuse was I feel like I could throw the Bounty farther, but just barely. Like they're so close to one another in flight. The difference for me is just the feel. Like
quite a bit on the feel though.
Yeah, whichever one feels better to you, they're gonna do really similar things. When I threw the Bounty last, I was so surprised by, even if I started it on hyzer, the lack of like fade that you would get at the end of it. If it goes straight, and normally you're waiting on a disc to, pardon me, I just hit my microphone. You're waiting on a disc to just start finishing to the left, even if it's even like a Maverick or something moderately understable. This just kept going straight, super duper straight. So I like it for that reason. Feel wise, it really just comes down to if you like a deeper feel or if you like a shallower one with a bead. That's what I think.
I think it might be just a touch more stable too.
Yeah.
Just a touch, not a whole lot, but just a little bit.
Yep.
All right, let's get in one last question. Who's the lucky winner? Josh. Hey guys, just going off a question you answered last week. It may have been last week, possibly on the podcast, where you discussed the weight of discs and how much you should care about it. Was that last week or the week before?
That may have been last week.
Anyway, I remember when I started a couple years back and up until recently, and I always figured I should buy max weight discs because I put a lot of stock in flight numbers. Well, there's where you went wrong. No. Was this thing super flawed? Well, I just said that, so yeah. Seeing as how some of the molds will fly differently in different weights, was I wrong to think that a disc at max weight gives the intended flight that was used when creating the flight numbers? Oh. Thanks. Love the show. Keep it real.
So he's asking if max weight discs are how flight numbers are created?
Or does the max weight, in other words, if you want the disc to do what the numbers say it's supposed to do, is that best represented in a max weight disc?
I would say no.
But you couldn't say that for any disc.
Correct.
It's all going to be because flight numbers are so subjective.
Correct.
It's going to be different discs for different people. Like a max weight disc will probably fly closest to its numbers for Eric because that's what he throws most of the time. But for somebody who throws closer to 350 feet on average, 325. Something in that middle weight might be a little closer to the numbers. So you can't just say just because a disc is max weight that's supposed to fly like the numbers were.
Right.
If you can't throw quite as far, it's probably going to be more on the fade side for you than somebody like Eric.
Sure. And to me, there's really not much difference between a 172 and a 175.
Sure.
For me,
right,
personally.
All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning into the Disc Golf Answer Man. Hopefully we got your question on the air. If not, just keep sending those questions in, and we will try to get them on the air. We sure appreciate you. Make sure you join the Facebook group Disc Golf Answer Man.
I was going to say one more thing.
Yeah, go for
it. Earlier you had mentioned that the Chameleon EMACs come out this Thursday, but also the Chameleon Sheriffs, Page Shoes Sheriffs, the Oakley Felons, and the Melvin Mavericks.
Yes.
Yeah, those also come out on Thursday at 11 a.m.
So we have 4 of the team series coming out. We already have the Verdict and the Warden. That is already out and available at stores near you. Hopefully you're able to get those in stock at a disc golf shop near you. Also, Trilogy Challenges. Trilogy Challenges are still going on through September. Go to trilogychallenge.com. Find one near you. If you want to get a little more personal texts from myself and Touring Pros, make sure you text DeGam or just say hello at 620-312-3225. That's 620-312-3225. Also, if you are big on social media, what should they do? If you like to post a lot of pictures of our product, what should that person do, Robert?
You should join the squad. If you haven't, then you're
what is
missing
the
out.
squad?
The squad
Who is the squad?
The squad is
How do you
Name them all.
spell
The squad is all of
Yeah,
us.
can you name everyone on the squad?
I do. Yes, and I can. But we'll start that later.
Okay.
Because it's going to take several hours. No, the squad is a program that you can join. You can complete challenges that gets you access to rewards like some free stuff, some discounts. Later on down the road, possibly VIP access at the GBO. So, saying there's a lot to be gained for you. Stuff you can do for free. So go to dynamicdiscs.com/squad and you can sign up.
All right, guys. Thanks again so much for joining us. If you're on YouTube, hang on and we'll get you a Disc Golf Hot Takes. If you're listening audio, then make sure you are subscribed so that you'll get that episode automatically in your feed. We'll see you guys.
Bye.
We are not recording.
We out.
Don't talk about the squad, he says. Why? Why not, David?
David who?
I want to, David, mate.
Is he on?
I don't know.
He's in the chat.
I mean, is he on the squad?
Oh.
David, why shouldn't we talk about the squad, though, is my question.
All right, so we're going to get set up for the Disc Golf Hot Take. This week is Roberto. So Robert's going to have the hot take for us.
Can I look at the one that you said that you wanted to see?
No, because I might use it.
I have one. I want to see if that's
Whisper
better.
it in my ear, and I'll tell you
I'm
if
not
it's the
going
same
to
one.
do that. Can I see it real fast, though?
Yeah.
Because if it's better than mine, then we'll just do it. Because
Why don't we just do it then?
I feel
so that
okay.
way you don't know what it is.
I feel okay about mine, but
That way, there's, you know what I mean?
I think this one's fairly decent. How about we do this one, and if after we do it, then you're like, that wasn't.
Okay.
Let's
I like that. That way, there's only
decent
one
to
person.
whose standards? First hot takes
Bert and
episode, Bobby.
Ernie off Sesame Street.
Hey, Bert.
First
Their standards.
episode, Bobby, or recent?
Recent
hot
episode, Bobby.
take? Okay. All right, I'm in.
Wait, recent. Oh, I thought you were recent episode. Bert.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Unibrow.
Okay, I'm in for that.
A friend of mine posted showed me a picture that her daughter was wearing a T-shirt and it had the characters from Sesame Street and it said, "I'm from the streets," or
Nice.
I learned from the streets or something
Nice.
like that. I thought it
Nice.
was kind of cool.
I'll say the one that I have. It's like the idea is good. How to make it a great discussion point is what I'm struggling with.
I would say work on it for a week and maybe we'll use it next week.
Yeah.
Put it on chalkboard, work it out.
No, I think
Go home.
it would probably. Thank you. It'd probably be one of those that like we start talking about, and maybe a couple sentences in, we're like, "Oh, this is the best way for us to argue about it." I've got the idea.
Okay.
I'm not sure how to argue about it correctly.
Should we flesh it out? Well, yeah, but see, I don't want to know what it is.
I'll work on
Exactly.
it. I'll work on it. Let's just do
okay,
this
let's
one.
do this one. Okay, go ahead and hit record. We good?
Do you want me to turn mine on or not?
Yes.
That's up to you.
Absolutely.
If you want to have an opinion.
He don't have no opinion.
Yes, Yellow Mike. Your mic looks like Bert.
Just don't knock everything over. Wait, what?
Wait, what was that?
Did you turn them on?
Whoa.
Hello.
Yeah, he's on.
Oh, he
Okay.
is.
All right, here we go. Here we are back with Disc Golf Hot Takes, a show that we can never come up with a title, but we can argue about it. I don't know.
Where the
That was-
points
No,
are
we
made
have
up.
we have a good title.
Oh, we have a title.
We don't have a great
slogan.
description.
Description. See, that's how good it is.
Where the takes are made up and the hot
points
doesn't
don't matter. Yeah.
And the hots don't matter.
Yeah.
And the sweats don't matter. All right, so this one is actually sent in by Daniel. So Daniel, we are going to take your hot take and we'll give two takes on it. Whether it's we'll give our take on the actual hot take,
Okay.
and then we'll give our take on whether it's a good take or
Nice.
hot take.
Okay,
Is that
cool.
good?
Well,
So
since you know the
two
hot
levels.
take, you're going to have to
Two
take
levels.
a stand.
I will
first.
take a stand. Okay, here we go.
Can't wait.
Well, the thing is that I actually kind of agree with it.
Okay, great.
Here we go. You ready? Turn should switch places with glide in the flight numbers.
Oh,
If we went speed, turn, glide, fade, then they would be in the order in which they affect the flight.
okay. So say why you agree with that, though.
I'll be honest, I don't really care.
Because it does make sense to name it in which it's there's an effect. So in other words, the speed is when you throw it, the speed at which you throw it.
Sure, got that.
Okay, and then the disc will either turn or not turn.
Okay,
and then it will glide.
Okay,
and then it will fade.
Okay,
but now we've set it out of turn, right? Because it's speed, glide, turn, fade.
Yeah.
So it does it glide before it turns, or does it turn before it glides?
See, for me, it glides before it turns.
See there's part of the argument.
Okay,
too.
so I think you see more turn. Okay, so preface. We talk about this often, that flight numbers are a guideline. They're intended to help you try and have an idea what a disc is supposed to do, but ultimately the best way for you to figure out what a disc does for you is for you to throw it. Okay. Having that said, there are some people that treat flight numbers as if they are the Bible.
Royalty.
There's just nothing more right than flight numbers.
Those people are wrong.
We're going to live in their world shortly, briefly,
okay,
to justify this.
Quickly get out,
and then shame them.
Okay, so I think that this only makes sense for more understable discs, because you happen to see the turn earlier in a more understable disc than you do in a disc with like a one turn. So I think about something like an escape. Okay, the escape is fairly understable, but not super duper understable. Mm-hmm. And for me, the escape is like a 9, 5 or 6 glide, -1 turn, like 2 or 3 fade. Okay, something like that. And I see the glide on an escape much earlier than I see the turn, because it already wants to stay in the air more. So I started on a very small amount of hyzer. It's not all the way up to flat before I realize, hey, this is staying in the air for a while. That's what it is for me. That's why I like the current.
It may be turning right, but it's staying in the air.
Give me an example that this would make sense.
This would make sense for like an underworld.
Okay,
because
give me one that it doesn't make sense.
The escape. I just said it.
I'm sorry. Yes, I was listening.
Okay, can't wait.
I think it's the exact opposite.
Lean into your microphone a little bit more.
Yeah, lean into your microphone.
Okay,
there you go.
Turn so you can see me.
Thank you.
I think it's the exact opposite of what you just said.
Okay.
I think the higher the glide, when I notice it, you're talking about the escape, is when like it's still flying. How is it still in the air? So I would notice the glide towards the end. Like, okay, if I threw a getaway or something, it would be fading out right now, or the escape is still pushing down the fairway. So I think the glide, personally, I notice it more
at
on
the
the
end,
second half of the flight after it's turning, once it's already turned. So I'm with Bobby.
Okay.
So like on
you
a
hate
disc,
to see that for yourself, for
Yeah,
your own.
I didn't want to say
sake.
that last part. But
technically you're not. Technically you're with who sent this question in?
Yeah.
Daniel.
Technically you're with
Thank
Daniel.
you.
That's way better.
But guilty by association,
That's true.
he's
That is
with
true.
me as well.
That is
Okay.
accurate.
Okay. Now I still disagree with you, but for the sake of the discussion, I'm prepared to pivot.
Pivot.
Here it is.
Ross Geller.
I think that since flight numbers are intended to help you understand what a disc is like before you throw it, that speed and glide are the two most important, because they're going to give you the best picture of how far the disc is going to go before you actually throw the disc.
False.
So what? That's not false. Like, that's true.
I think speed and turn.
those are not the more important.
No,
two,
speed.
I think speed and turn are more important.
cannot possibly be more important than
You gotta
glide.
know. You gotta know if you're going to release it. Is it going to go to the right or is it going to go to the left?
No.
Why would you need to know how? I mean, obviously,
You know what's even more important?
What?
Feel.
Throwing the disc.
Now wait a minute. Remember,
Where's the flight number
Eric,
for
we
feel?
said we were going to.
I tried to get in, but I can't.
I know. We said we were going to be in the world that flight numbers
We are
very
living in
important.
this world.
This is okay. Yeah. So we are under the umbrella of flight numbers are super important.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's why I think that you need to know. I guess I think of like if a disc starts to beat in too much. Like I have some Mavericks that are just beat in,
Yeah, sure.
and they turn. So to me, it's like I got to know if that Maverick turns. That's what I need right now.
Right, but you don't have those beat up Mavericks don't have a new flight number on the disc.
No. I'm not disputing that. What I'm getting at is the idea of knowing whether that disc is going to turn right for me or go straight for me. So I think turn is much more important to glide. I don't. In level of importance, knowing if it's going to turn or not is more than how far it's going to glide.
See, I'm not with this.
Is that kind of what your angle it was, Anthony?
I would agree with what you just said. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
Well, that's not what the point I was making.
Oh, what was
Robert
your
said that
point?
he notices the glide.
I noticed
in
the glide
initial
before
part.
the turn,
okay.
Yeah,
specifically on a disc that isn't crazy understable. Something like an Underworld, something like a Witness. You throw it on hyzer, and immediately it's turning right. It's like, okay, that makes sense.
Sure.
I saw the turn first. But something like an Escape, something like a Trespass, I feel like I see the disc staying in the air longer before it actually turns for me. So that's why I think they are in the correct order right now. Also, practical. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay.
Please.
For the sake of practicality, making all new stamps would suck.
Well, yeah, sure.
That would be very expensive. And
Robert, this is hot takes. Get the logic out.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Throw practicality and logic out the window.
Yeah.
Never mind. Let's assume that we can just change stamps. I still stand by that they're in the correct order right now.
Eric?
I think this should change
I think you should get rid of them.
altogether.
I think a better hot take would have been flight numbers should be different for each plastic, because that's an actual argument. Like a Lucidex Escape flies different than a Biofusion Escape.
That's true.
So, I think So I think I think we've kind of taken this to its furthest. What was the two words?
That horse,
on
the horse is
Seinfeld?
dead.
Yeah. What was the 2 words on Seinfeld? Volition? No, volition.
Serenity now.
No, I'll have to look it up. It's where Costanza's
tomorrow.
dating
Because today is almost over.
Costanza is dating someone, and she didn't want to discuss something, and he said we have to discuss it to the end. I have to look it up.
For this extent?
Yes, but then Seinfeld said another word.
He said something
yes.
different.
Anyway, so to me, this further proves why flight numbers aren't as important as people like to make them out to me.
Okay, but think about this for a second. They're very important.
They're not.
Let's talk about them more often.
We're done with
Come out
that
of the bubble.
world.
No.
We're out of the yes. Join
I'm
us out
still in hot take mode.
again, guys.
We won't talk about this until I'm done.
We completely understand the guidance of them. We completely understand how a person that's new to a different manufacturer, that they help you, but at some point you've got to sort of let go of that. You've got to look at it for a quick reference, but then don't look at a disc and just because it has certain numbers think this does not fit into what I need. You've got to feel it. You got to see if you can throw it, because there's so many discs that have very similar flight numbers or even same flight numbers that feel a little different in the hand, and one of them might be better for you.
Here's an example that I ran into recently, and it's not in the disc golf world, but it was funny the way that it happened. Some friends of ours here in town got a ping pong table. I've enjoyed playing ping pong for a long time, and so as a joke, I wanted to go get a ping pong paddle so that when the first time we went over there, I could show up with my own ping pong paddle and be like, "Look, I'm going to smoke you."
Like
I'm not
Forrest Gump.
I'm not that good at ping pong, but I enjoy playing it and I enjoy a good joke. So I went to
Both these together.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
It was a perfect storm. So I went to Amazon and started looking at ping pong paddles, like in a somewhat affordable range. And they rate paddles from all the way offensive to all the way defensive. And there's like offensive plus.
Is defensive just a tennis racket? It's just
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. You just hold it in front of yourself and hope the ball hits it. No, there's like offensive plus, offensive minus, neutral, defense, and so on. There's like 7 places that it can be rated. I don't think I am nearly good enough to play one of those super fast ones. So I got one that was like defensive plus, right? So kind of like in the neutral thing. And the first few times I hit it, the ball popped off the paddle faster than it's ever done for me ever. And I just thought, like, this must be how people feel grabbing a disc that don't have much arm speed. They grab a disc for the first time, like a Maverick. We say Maverick straight to understable, but then they throw it and it just goes left. Like, so we can rate things all we want to, but it assumes a certain level of skill or speed in order to get there, right? True. That's why flight numbers are very much a guideline, less of gospel, right?
That's why flight numbers are like ping pong paddles.
You're welcome. And
I'm going to get a ping pong table.
And my ping pong paddle on the edge, it says expert table tennis.
Hey,
So just in case you were wondering who in the room is an expert, it's the guy whose paddle says expert table.
is that like
says it
disc
on the
golf
paddle.
and frolf?
It literally says it right there.
And there's our joke.
Yeah. You're welcome.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to our hot takes and our ping pong.
Knowledge.
Pardon me,
Knowledge.
it's expert table tennis.
I'm sorry, expert table tennis knowledge. All right, we'll see you on the next hot take.
Okay, bye.
Ask people in the chat.
Dude,
Or maybe
hold
you guys
on.
know. Oh, what?
Tanner says, hot take, I like the Striker better than the Explorer.
I don't know if that's a hot take.
What
can,
disagree with you, Tanner.
what
There
can
are
one
decisions
expect
in life.
to pay? What's the top dollar to pay for a ping pong table that's good enough to be put in the basement and played every once in a while?
A table? You said top dollar or bottom dollar?
The top dollar that is
That you want to spend.
that I would like to
So
spend.
bottom dollar for
Just
a quality table is what you're
I'm
asking.
sorry. Yes, that's the way I should have said
Okay.
$250.
Yeah, something like that.
it. Okay.
If you find one
They're like
used, it'll be less.
$700.
If you find one used or just from somebody here in town, it'll be less than that.
Just take this table home. Right here.
Here's
Paint
one
it
for
green.
$714.
Make it wider.
Yep.
Here's a $150 one.
And
Yeah.
you're good to go.
Yeah, my parents have one that they would like to give to us, but they live in Houston.
Are we still live?
We don't have a good way.
Yeah, we're still live.
We don't have a good way to get it back here.
I'm still going to answer this phone call.
Yeah,
Is there a
so-
regulation on the size?
Oh yeah, they should all be the same size. Anyway,
I'm doing Disc Golf Answer Man right now. Say hi to everybody.
hi everybody.
There you go.
Who's that?
Emerson Keith.
Hey, Emerson.
What do you need?
Emerson.
Sounded just like Emerson, by the way. He and I sound very
Okay.
similar. Okay, but did y'all see the picture of Emerson as a girl?
Yes.
We saw.
Uh-huh.
Disturbing.
That whole gallery was hilarious.
Very disturbing. And my romantic
small.
says could get one for $150 easy.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
What
How
I
much
should
is
I
it?
do? Amazon or just like a sporting goods place? Like
Well,
this
I would
sporting
start.
goods?
We probably will get one for our basement.
From?
I'll probably just look on Marketplace
me-
to start, like Facebook Marketplace.
Oh, for real?
yeah,
Like just a local used one, I bet. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I'm going to look before you. And
No,
buy
I'm
it.
looking right now.
No.
No, I'm already looking.
Sold. I'll take it.
See, I found one.
Okay.
I already found one. I didn't find one.
Yep.
Toxin said he thought this was Paul Macbeth on the phone.
We'll go through.
It's true.
Make sure there's not like a limit.
Guys, any last questions before we sign off for the day from YouTube?
I'll get the card back. Yep.
Izzy said female Emerson, though, not bad. He was definitely the most normal looking of all of the female pros, for sure.
Some of them, there was a couple where I was like, wait, who's the? Oh, it's Philo. Oh, who's the? Like,
Yeah,
they
that
did
one was
not
crazy.
Look like the actual person.
Darby, I think you're probably right in that. He said, long story short, I would smoke Robert in table tennis. That's true. I'm like real average at ping pong. Let's say average minus.
You ever play with like the pen grip rather than the normal?
No.
That's
I mean, I've seen some people that can do that, but not me.
Hands are harder. You can really put the weight.
Oh, for sure.
I used to have a ping pong table.
Yeah. I loved it growing up. Like,
Yeah.
it was really fun, but
Like the first house I bought, I had one in
Yeah.
the basement.
The guy who got this ping pong table got one of the machines that you can practice with because he got it on Amazon and it was like $5 because it was a warehouse deal because someone returned it and it was broken. So he fixed it and set it up on the other side of the table and just started shooting shots over the table. Dude, it is so much fun.
Is it basically like a batting cage for baseball?
Yes,
Okay.
but much faster.
Bobby.
Just rapid
So you just go,
Bobby. Ping pong table
was
and
awesome.
paddles, $80.
yeah, I already
In
saw
Emporia,
that.
Kansas.
I already saw that one. I messaged
that
him.
one, yeah.
I sent him a message.
Did you really?
No, I didn't.
Don't do it. I sent it already.
No, I already sent one.
He called.
He's
you,
friends with Matthew Sedgwick.
Oh, wow. Well, consider me uninterested.
is there
Yeah,
a way
really.
to delete your message? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's about all we got for today.
Is that it?
New house is good.
Nobody wants to talk anymore? All right, guys. Thank you so much on the YouTubes for checking
Oh,
us
Daniel
out.
just asked, are we still doing skip ace?
No.
What's that?
That's going to be enough.
Yeah.
When you skip a disc,
Oh, no.
it goes
It
usually on your
aces.
second shot after you put one
Typically.
close.
However, my partner at the Hammond Park team,
Yeah.
whatever's, skip ace hole 3 at Hammond.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, the hardest hole in the course.
I
Jared Stroll.
rarely deuce that hole.
I know.
Which one did you say? I'm sorry.
Hole 3
At
Hammond.
oh, nice.
During the Trilogy Challenge, though, forehand with the SPZ3, parked it.
You did?
I did.
Dang. What'd you shoot? Did you go twice around?
I did. I shot
54.
41.
There you go.
41.
I was going to say, there was the first Trilogy Challenge that I played in town. Both you and I shot 40s.
Out there, right?
Yeah. At Hammond.
That was when you got the ace, too. No, that wasn't.
That was just to
that was
to tie Paige's shoe
Yep.
and make her furious.
Yes, that's right.
That was
That's
awesome.
right. I do remember that now.
I had a better if I haven't told this on the air before, I had a better tag than Paige Shue coming into one of the minis. I didn't play very well. She didn't play very well, but she was in the clubhouse at 6 under, and I only had hole 2 at Hammond to go, and I was sitting at 4 under through 2 times around, so I was not playing very well. But one of the guys who was with us was like, "Oh, just ace it," and Paige is over sitting under the gazebo, like right where you can see it, and I just rang it up.
Chang.
And went over there.
Stared daggers.
Yes, went over there. Everybody signed it. It's a 150-foot hole, by the way. Everybody signed it, and then we found out that we tied, which means, and the person with the lower tag, the better tag, gets to keep it if you tie. She was salty. Eric shot like a 12. I mean, it was he shot well, but
I didn't ace. I've still yet to ace at Hammond Park.
yeah, that's my only ace in Emporia.
Wow, that's bad.
Yeah, you hate to see it. You really hate to see it.
You need to play more.
Well, even when I played a lot, I didn't ace.
That's true.
Have you guys been to the Oregon Trail Nature Park?
Like in Oregon.
Like
It's
the
actually in
Oregon
St.
Trail.
Mary's and not Bellevue. I texted Shelby and asked her about it. Oh, okay.
I've
Because
played the game.
there seems to be a lot
I
of
used to
birds
play the
you can
game.
check out.
Never made it past the Mississippi River.
I would always just go hunting and fishing and then
Yeah.
die.
And then die of
Die of
dysentery.
leprosy.
So I've looked on the All Trails app, and there was one that I want to go to that seems a lot of people like, but you posted on there that it has a lot of ticks. Do you remember which one I'm talking about?
I posted on there?
Yeah.
On the All Trails app?
That's just what I use. I don't know
How can
if
I
it
get a
picks up
Trilogy Challenge players pack if there aren't any going on in my area? Ryan Holt,
Facebook.
please.
You might check Facebook for the Trilogy Challenge question on YouTube. You might check Facebook
Oh.
a lot of times when people get too many player packs for their Trilogy Challenge. They'll post it on Trilogy. They'll post it on Facebook. That is one way to do it. Other than that, you'll have to wait until after Trilogy Challenge is over, which will be September, October.
Melbourne Lake.
Is that what it is?
Mhm. It's right by Melbourne Lake. It's like at Turkey Point. You go past Turkey Point, and then there's 2 different rides you could take. And I remember we went and rode
does.
it, and it was like
I was just
Ticks
there this
Central.
weekend.
Yeah. I saw that. Looked like a good time.
Yeah.
Don, I tightened this like every week, and then it still just goes.
And that's the one that you said had a lot of ticks on
Yeah. Tons of ticks.
it? Yeah.
And the grass was tall. It wasn't like really maintained very well. It's right by the disc golf course out there.
Is it?
You looking
that
for
what
a new
you
place to
played?
ride?
Huh? Yeah.
Looking for a new place to ride?
It's just something different to ride, yeah.
Need to go back out north.
Where was the course
go
that you played,
longer.
Anthony?
It was the one at Melbourne.
Oh, nice.
Eisenhower.
The one we went to? I've been out
Kona
there
and
Oh, like
twice
Colton.
since.
that we went
I
out
did.
to for the
One
company.
by
thing,
myself
but
and
we
one
didn't
with
get to play.
somebody.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. I mean, I don't know if we have anything else super exciting to talk about. Just want to check if the DD store will sell the new Latitude 64 bags, luxury E4. Probably at some point, Spider Piggy. We weren't able to this time because of customs or something like that, but hopefully at some point we can. Doc says Bobby should set up ping pong. Oh, instead of ping pong, you should set up a pickleball court in your basement.
I don't have enough room for pickleball.
That's what you think.
So,
Attitude.
ping
Just do it
pong,
in
I
the
think,
street
would
in
be
front of
fun.
your house.
Right in front of my house?
In the street.
In the streets.
On the porch.
Um,
In one of the guest bedrooms.
On the roof.
I could do that. That would work. What else is going on? I guess that's it. Yeah, I
that's
want
pretty
some new mountain bike. Yeah, I'd like to be nice. What I'd really love to do, I'd really like to go somewhere do mountain biking, and then I'll find a brewery or something like that, and then just go there.
You just get hammered.
And then get hammered, and then just ride my bike all the way home.
Be like Jim when he leaves the office.
That's right.
At Stanford.
Oh yeah, right.
Dude, maybe that's how you meet Karen, and then y'all start dating.
I have some friends in Lawrence,
They didn't last though.
and
Yeah, it didn't.
they said
some
they
good
have
trails up
they
there.
got some trails up there,
Yeah.
and I thought it'd be kind of cool to go out there and then meet them for some brewskis.
Nice.
I guess that's it.
That's it.
Have you been back to that original spot that we rode? Like the day I got my bike, we went there with Sam. The campus?
Yes, one time.
You've been back there since then, since it's not been muddy, or
Yeah, no. Last time I went there, I was trying to figure out the trails, and I couldn't. I was like getting lost.
was it muddy?
I mean, it was, but not terrible.
It'd be muddy now anyway.
Yeah,
the
it'd be
river
muddy
was
now.
just up.
I wish there were some that were closer, but like some good ones that look good on the app are like an hour away.
Yeah.
Which is not horrible.
You should do the High Gear in Emporia does the rides every Thursday, I think it is.
Are they more mountain bike ride or more
No,
DK type ride?
It's similar. I mean, it's gravel.
Yeah.
It is a gravel ride, but it's not like 200 miles.
I just remember right before I was doing the DK, I went on one of those rides, and like they had like guys that have been doing it for years, going like 50 miles an hour.
Oh, well, they have different levels. They have like
Different levels.
beginners.
50 miles an hour seems very fast for just a bike.
It's what we call exaggerating
And
for
on
a
gravel.
point. Right.
Gotcha. Okay. There's a couple of people who have some suggestions for you.
Yeah.
Dan says go to Moab, Utah for mountain biking.
Oh. And get drunk.
Can I
Jake-
do that in a day?
Jake says come to Portland, Bobby. Lots of great biking and breweries.
Oh God, there's a lot of places I'd love to go that would take me a long time. I'm thinking like within an hour or so, like that.
Mr. Drew says Bobby needs Colorado. There's trails and breweries everywhere.
Yeah, I've been watching some YouTube videos on mountain biking. There's some really cool, like people will just put their GoPro on and then just let you ride with them. And I'm like, man, that just looks fun going up and down and curves and
It's
stuff
intense.
like that. Yeah.
Wear your helmet.
Robbie Olson does pretty hardcore mountain biking.
Yeah, he does like
Really?
actual
was
mountains.
nice.
Yeah, he is doing it on his Snapchat,
No.
which looked pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Any more disc golf to talk? No.
No, I mean we're through all of the comments now.
All right. Thanks, guys. We'll see you.
See ya.
next time.